Hi gorgeous, this is episode number 83. You are listening to Heart Sells Podcast and I am your host, Christine Schlonski. As always, I am super pumped that you are tuning in. It is another Variety Friday, the day where I share my knowledge with you, where I give you tips, where I share resources, or where I answer your questions. Today, I'm going to talk about focus and time management ideas and tips because some of you have requested or asked, well, what do we do if we lose focus, if we don't get into the zone? How can we get that momentum going? So that is the episode today. You want to make sure that you have subscribed to Heart Sells Podcast, that you give it a rating and a review. And for all the information, including the show notes, the transcripts, and all the resources we talk about, hop on over to christineschlonski.com, find the podcast tab, and check it out. So, in regards to focus, I have noticed that no one is always focusing all the time. So if you're stressing yourself out because you feel like everybody else has so much focus and they get so much done, please relax. Putting too much pressure on you is not going to support you because it only puts pressure on you. And what you need to do is moving forward. So my tip number one would be to just notice and relax. Tip number two, don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Just stay in your lane and take it one step at a time. What I love to do when I lack focus, I actually love to take a break. Because just sitting on my PC and trying to come up with something and forcing it is not going to get my creative juices going. So I want to make sure that I am connected, that I'm grounded. So I go out into nature. I usually take a walk. I move my body because moving my body makes me breathe in on a deeper level, which helps my brain to think better. Tip number 3. Did you drink enough water? If not, drink more water. There has been a study here in Germany a while ago where they found out that if you drink 2.3 liter of water, and it's up to you to put it into ounces or whatever you are using, if you drink 2.3 liter a day of pure water, I'm not talking sodas and juices or milk, it's really water. That is where the system showed that the students in high school, when they are doing their final exams, have the best results because they were able to concentrate more, to focus more due to the water intake. So you want to make sure that you drink enough, and I'm quite sure your body will know when you have enough water, but often not having enough oxygen and not having enough water can be really taking the focus away. And then let's actually talk about how much in love are you with the task at hand. Is it something that you really, really love to do? Or is it something that you just don't like to do and you can't delegate it at this point in time? So if it is a second one, you can't just delegate it, try to come up with a different attitude towards a task. Try to make it fun for you. Try to make it easy for you. Maybe you want to come up with a little game or something. There's a really cool book written by Brian Tracy called Eat the Frog. And it gets you 21 great ways to stop procrastinating and get more done in less time, which definitely has to do with focus. So it has the idea that you take the most, dragging or the task that seems the most difficult, and you just do that first. You get it out of the way first thing in the morning. And then it's done. So you have eaten the frog first, and now you have more playtime. Another idea would be to really look at your task and prioritize. So what I like to do is I like to have a look at my to-do list, either the evening before I finish off my work or right in the morning after I've done my morning routine. And then picking out the three most important things for the day. I really like to focus on that. And then from the three, I prioritize. And not always, but most of the time, I do and eat the frog first. I really have a look like what's something that out of these three things that I don't really want to do, that seems too difficult or too hard or not fun enough. And then I just go ahead and get it done. Because after I have completed it, it will just feel amazing. And I'm going to be so much more excited about the whole day. So what you want to do is you want to really have a look at your goals. What do you try to accomplish? And often there are goals that don't really support our business or that are not important enough, that, that just don't need to be there. So maybe you also want to clean off your to-do list, because then the less things you have to focus on, the easier it will be to focus, right? I always know when I have too many things on my to-do list, I get distracted, because in the back of my head, it's, the little voice is going off like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, and then that needs to be done. And then, you come into that weird kind of space where you feel so pressured, even though you put it onto yourself. And that's not really supportive. So prioritize wisely, really have a look. What is supporting my business, or whatever the bigger goal or mission is you want to have achieved? What on the to-do list is really supporting that, so that I can focus on less things. Make sure you set a time as well. So maybe you want to write a blog, or you want to make clients calls. So you want to set a time early in the morning to get it out of the way. And if your clients are in a different time zone, obviously that might switch around, but make it as soon as you can, because once you get that momentum, things will become so much easier, right? When you had one good client call, well, you are going to be more excited about the next one to come. And then that will lead to the next one and the next one. And all of a sudden you had several calls, and they were all amazing because you felt so amazing. So put yourself a time limit of when you want to achieve something, that in case you're sitting in front of your PC and you're just staring at it, or you kind of get lost in Facebook or on Instagram or Twitter, that you really know, okay, I'm going to give myself 5 minutes, and then I'm going to get this done, or I'm going to get it to the next task. And then really plan your breaks. That's something that I'm still exercising on. I'm not very good in planning my breaks. And I noticed that when I really say, okay, after an hour, I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm just going to chill a little bit, or whatever it is, that the quality of the focus becomes better. So maybe you want to try that as well. So to really put a timer on and say, well, I'm going to work for 20 or 25 minutes. And then I'm going to do a 5-minute break. Or I'm going to work for an hour, and then I'm going to do a 10-minute break. Something like this, so that you can really tune out of that work and then back into the work with a fresh mind. And again, for me, it always helps when I walk in nature, because it gets my body moving, it gets my blood moving, it gets oxygen to my brain. And often I do have really, really great ideas while being on a walk. And you might have those places where you have great ideas. So make sure you tune into that space as often as you can, because those great ideas will lead to more success potentially. Also make sure that you organize yourself so that you don't waste time in looking for files or papers or your pen or whatever. That can be a really good one because it will help you when you look for things to be distracted, and it will take your focus off of the task at hand. So clean up your to-do list, put on a timer, set a time for the task, take a really good break in between the task or after the task is done, and also celebrate what you have done. When the task is done, especially if you feel it was that frog that you had first, celebrate yourself. Be proud of yourself. Tune into that emotion of being proud and happy, feeling accomplished, feeling like you've got something done. Whatever it is for you, like get into that feeling, into that space where you really appreciate what you've done, because that will really give you more energy for your next task at hand. So I hope that helped. Turn your phone off would be also another good advice. I usually have my phone on silent mode, and I do miss calls. I don't miss the alarm though. That's my alarm for the next appointment. That's awesome. So I turn off the phone. That really, really helps because it does not distract you. And when you work from home, and I know many of us do, make sure that you close your door. If you have children that could be coming in, you need to train them that when the door is closed, if it's not an emergency, then they should not be coming in, because that gives you really the time that you need to focus, because every time you are disturbed, your brain wanders off and it takes quite a while to go back to the task at hand. And that also helps you losing your focus instead of gaining focus. So I really, really hope that this helped. If you have any questions, like if you want to know, like, Christine, how are you doing this exactly? Or what would you do if? Just post it in the comments on the Facebook Heart Cells. And if you want to be in a community that is really heart-centered, driven entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs to be with amazing, amazing gifts, hop on over to Heart Cells with Christine Schlonski, the Facebook group, and ask to join. We are always on the lookout for amazing people to network with, to be part of this group, to enjoy this group, and I'm looking forward to support you there in a much deeper level. And I thank you so, so much for being here. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this beautiful world. And I'm saying bye for now.